Here we go. Da, 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 da. Oh, bam. All right, guys. Welcome to the podcast. Mine's the Astute podcast with Chad and myself. We got Tim from the Nitro Antique Mall over there, Nitro. My favorite place to go, by the way. I'm just not gassing you up. So, and then we got longtime buddy, childhood friend, classmate, etc. Rick. It's funny because I was laughing last night. I said, you know what? I said I got to make sure that I don't call him Ricky because there was an incident a few years ago. I went to a friend's wedding, and as a kid, we always called him Mikey. So when he got married, Michael is his middle name, and so everyone was calling him Christopher. So when I would call him Mikey, they were like, "Why are you calling him Mikey?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, did I do something wrong?" And then I realized he's a grown ass man, and he prefers to go by his grown man name. So, Rick, I will call you by your grown man name of Rick.
Yeah,
And
there's only one living person that calls me Ricky and gets away with it.
we will duly noted. Duly noted. Hey, let me share this real quick again, guys. You can go to the Melvin Carter voiceover page and share it to your Facebook page. Let me share this right now. And here we go. Let me do this real quick. All right. Go. There we go. Okay. Good deal. So you can do that right there. Now, what we're going to do today, we got Tim from Nitro Antique Mall here with us today, and what we're going to do is we've got a live auction, and what we've got going on, and I got to figure out I got to do that as well. Is that we have a 1989 Batmobile with the Batman figure. That auction will start out at $10, and we also have. Let me find it here. The 1989 Michael Keaton Batman poster. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put that on. Let me find it here and see if I can add a picture. Well, let's see here. If I can add a comment to it, I don't know if it'll let me. Let me do it for my Facebook page here so we can get this right and we'll get this started up here. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Let me put these comments up for you. Okay. So if you comment, guys, watching this, if you guys comment, the only way that we can see the comments and respond to the comments is if you comment on the Melvin Crider Jr. Facebook voiceover page, or if you comment on the YouTube screen there. So let me do this real quick here. Let me. Okay. So it's not going to let me, for some reason. You guys may be able to try it to post the pictures on it. So, so if you guys, when you guys bid on this, just type in the comment section what you're bidding on. Just type Batmobile or poster, and then place your bid. And again, if you guys comment on it, you have to comment from the actual Melvin Crider Jr. voiceover page or the Melvin Crider Jr. Presents YouTube page. That way that we can see it. So make sure that you guys do that. I've shared this to my personal Facebook page, and I believe that Tim and Rick and Chad has as well. So make sure that you guys are commenting on the actual stream from the Melvin Crider Jr. voiceover page or the YouTube page, which is Melvin Crider Jr. Presents. So let me get back to this. Let me take this down so everybody can see your beautiful faces. Okay, so there we go. So, how's everybody doing?
Great.
beautiful.
Oh, it's hell upstairs. I'm doing great.
Well, Tim, you know, it is about 130 degrees during the summer and negative 130 during the winter. So,
I've got good news. I'm getting air conditioning starting. They're going to start working on this air conditioning for upstairs tomorrow, and I'm thrilled. So,
well, let me tell you something, Chad. I don't know if you've been to the Nitro Antique Shop. I know Rick has. It's a wonderful place. It's a little warm sometimes, but all that
steamy.
warm, steamy. The warmth is from their hearts, is what it is. The warmth is from Tim's heart and his son's heart, and just the place fills you up with warmth. So,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So here we go. So we got a comment here. So here we go. Okay, so uh, Mrs. I can't call her Carol. Miss Recco is watching.
Mommy.
I can't call her Carol. So I can't do that. Sorry. Um, so again, guys, if you want to bid, I gotta stop hitting my camera there. If you want to bid on the items again, let me Tim, you want to roll the Batmobile across the screen for him?
Sure. We have a 1989 Batmobile, complete with Michael Keaton action figure.
Yes. Do you have the poster behind you, or do I need to post that as
It
well?
is in front of me, actually.
Yes.
It is. If we can get a good picture of it here.
Okay. So those two things are up for auction. They're both starting at $10 a piece. Okay. And if you guys want to bid on it, you have to bid.
Yeah.
You have
Sorry.
to bid. Oh, you're good. You have to bid in the actual stream. You have to bid in the actual stream from the Melvin Carter Jr. Voiceover page or Melvin Carter Jr. Presents from the YouTube channel. So make sure you guys bid on that. Each one is the starting bid for each one is $10. $10 for the Batmobile and the figure included, and then $10 for the Michael Keaton Batman poster. So I kind of wanted to keep with the Batman going there. And what I wanted to do was I was talking to Rick yesterday about it, and there's been it's like is it every 10 years, every 20 years they do a new Batman trilogy?
Um,
Feels
yeah,
like it. Yeah.
something like
Feels
it.
like it. Okay. Feels like it. Okay. So my question, guys, to you guys is, well, first of all, there's a rumor out that Michael Keaton, the I don't want to call him the first Batman because I don't want to disrespect Adam West like that, but the the first Dark Knight, how about that?
First
Is that
modern Batman, I'd say. Yeah.
okay?
First darker Batman.
Yeah, first darker. He went to the beach, so not really, but come on, guy. He
It's more the Frank Miller-esque kind of Batman. Yeah.
yeah. So there's a rumor out that Michael Keaton will appear in the upcoming Flash film. Supposedly, they talk about Flash going back in time, and I guess running into the Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne Batman. So I'm kind of curious if there's going to be more to that, maybe because a lot of times they pump stuff up. There's always a Darth Maul moment in a movie. They pump a character up, and like Darth Maul, he lasted for what, a minute, and then he was gone. So
Yeah.
hopefully Michael Keaton gets a longer uh, part in the film. So we'll see. But it's exciting though to think Michael Keaton, which is my favorite Batman, by the way, is coming back to reprise his role. So Tim, I know that you guys were talking about it on your podcast the other day. Have you found anything interesting about that? Any truth to that?
I haven't read up too much on it. My personal opinion is I think they're pulling Michael Keaton in to sell tickets. I mean, everyone my age, that late 40s, mid 40s and up, guys that were in high school from in the mid 80s, they all want to see Batman as Michael Keaton as Batman again, I think. So I hate to say it, I think it's more of a ploy to sell more tickets. Sad to say, but I think, and I'll definitely buy tickets for it because I want to see him as Batman again too. But I'm not completely sold on the idea. It's kind of a negative image of it. I mean, if he pulls off like the Vulture role again, I mean, he did great in the Spider-Man film as the Vulture. But if it goes the line of a Birdman, I'm gonna be really disappointed with it.
Well, Birdman. I haven't watched it. I feel a little disappointed.
Oh,
I haven't watched it, but I judging by your reaction to it, it's not that great.
it's a very artsy kind of film. I mean, it's enjoyable, on a certain level, but it's a very artsy kind of thing.
Yeah, Rick, have you seen Birdman, Michael Keaton?
No, I have not.
Okay.
That has to be a crime if you have not seen it, Rick, because there are so many drum features in that it's not funny.
Yeah,
Like most of the score is just drums.
I hardly ever watch movies, man. It's with my lifestyle, I have very little time to just sit down and stare at a screen, and if I do, I'm asleep.
Well, don't worry about Chad, because he's not hip to the Avengers. Chad's not a part of the MCU.
Yeah, like if basketball's on, I like nothing else just comes across the screen. That's just how it is.
That hurts my man pride, Chad. That you're not hip to the MCU, but I'm excited about it. I remember there were comments from people about Michael Keaton and how it was just his suit that was the physique part of it, and he himself didn't have any muscles and etc. So they kind of got on him for that, not being in shape. I mean, everybody can't be Christian Bale, but I think Keaton pulled that. I always took Batman, the character, as muscular kind of tone, but not Van Damme, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton. So what I was talking to Rick yesterday, and we were kind of messing around, and we were talking about our favorite Batman. So I'm going to go through the list. First of all, let's see. Michael Keaton, my personal favorite Batman.
Yep.
There's Keaton. When you go back and you look at the mask, it looks kind of, I don't know, it looks real rubbery. I don't know. It looks cool, but by all means, but it looks like something that is a little bit further than your local department store, but still cool nonetheless. Okay, so your thoughts on Val Kilmer?
I thought it was a good try, but I still like Michael Keaton better. Yeah, I mean, he didn't do horrible, but he didn't do as horrible as some other people. But I think Michael Keaton just hit the right notes with it.
Val Kilmer to me was kind of a shock. I mean, I guess at that time maybe he had a few movies that he was. I think Val Kilmer was supposed to be the next big guy, because your 80s guys were kind of winding down, Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Van Damme, and Steven Seagal's ponytail got too long and his jeans got too tight. So I think with Val Kilmer, they were looking for that next guy.
But Val Kilmer's blonde.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. I mean,
Batman's not blonde.
I mean, I'm sure there's just for men in Gotham.
Maybe.
Wasn't Batman the master of disguises? Come on.
That is right.
Okay, if you want to go there with it, I can understand.
Now, not Dana
I was never
Carvey
a fan of
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a master of disguise. So, but Val Kilmer, he was supposed to be that next guy. He, and then of course, good old George.
Bat nipples. Bat nipples.
Yeah, without a doubt, bat nipples.
Joel Schumacher just passed away, didn't he? Kind of.
Oh man.
Now the thing about the Clooney Batman, to watch it was horrible, but going back and watching it now, it's still horrible, but it's a really fun, campy kind of Batman. I think it reminds me of the '60s era Batman because it's so over the top, it's so campy that it's fun to watch now, as long as you don't take it too serious.
Well, that was the thing, because if you, like you said, if you go back and watch it now, it's probably the most colorful action movie, superhero movie I've ever seen. Because now naturally the Riddler's outfit is that lime green or whatever it is. It's bright, but he also, if I'm not mistaken, had the lights on it. You had Mr. Freeze that looked like a neon Vegas sign. And so and then I think wasn't it Alicia Silverstone in that one as well?
Yes.
So she had all that color. They had like the red or burnt orange on their chest, and one of the greatest lines ever. And me and a friend, we used to laugh about this all the time, is when Clooney and Chris O'Donnell were like on the side of that building, whatever, and O'Donnell looks down. He says, "Holy rusted metal, Batman!" And it was an homage to the 60s Batman when they would go kapow and kaplunk and all that other stuff. And we used to laugh at that for hours. Holy rusted metal, Batman. So, but George Clooney, yes, he did have the bat nipples. Now, Christian Bale. What is your take? Oh, he put his head down. What is your take on Christian Bale?
First time I watched the first Bale Batman movie, absolutely loved it. The second Bale Batman movie, I think I saw it in the theater probably a dozen times. Absolutely loved it. The third Bale movie, I watched it and I walked out of the theater just feeling so disgusted with it. I hated it because I wanted to see a different villain. Batman has such a huge rogues gallery, and for them to just kind of recycle back to the League of Shadows again was just for me a huge disappointment. But what really killed the whole Christian Bale Batman for me are the Badman series. I can't remember who does that exactly. It's like a parody of Batman. Can't remember what the comic's name is. Can't remember what the comic's name is exactly, but it's called Badman, and it's just a straight up parody of all the Christian Bale Batman, and the way he there's an episode where he's trying to find his bat voice, and he just starts imitating all these actors. There's a couple episodes where his facial features, he's giving a strong parody to Christian Bale. And after I've watched that, I cannot go back and watch Christian Bale Batman to save my life. It's just ruined it for me.
Well, a lot of people they were turned off by Bane's voice. I thought it was brilliant. I liked it because you have this big muscular guy, and for him to have that intelligent voice really kind of put a spin on it. And I think what's his name? Is it Tom Hardy that plays Bane? Yeah.
Oh yeah, my wife will testify to that.
Well, you got apparently the ladies love Tom Hardy.
Yeah, she's definitely in that camp.
Yeah, but his voice, supposedly Tom Hardy's voice was there in the beginning, and then they went and dubbed over it with the other guy. But I don't know. I liked the third Kristen Bell Batman better than the first one, and of course, the second one with Heath Ledger. To me, is the best one. When that movie had come out, there was a guy. I was seeing this girl and her sister had this boyfriend, and they were a lot younger than us. And the Dark Knight had just come out, and he was like, "Oh, it's the greatest Batman ever." And Christian Bale's way better than Michael Keaton, and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, you got to look at it from this perspective." The 1989 Batman movie was the first time that we actually saw the Dark Knight. Everything up until that point was from the 60s, and they were in blue and all that crazy goober stuff, So Michael Keaton, for a lot of people, including myself, for a lot of people, the Batman 1989 Tim Burton version, in our hearts, at least in my heart anyway, will always be the best one because you remember, like they say, your first time. So that was my first time with Michael Keaton. That was my first time with Michael Keaton. We made
And
love
still
with
put
popcorn.
Jack Nicholson as the Joker, like way up there as far as the villains.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Heath Ledger's more what would you say?
Unhinged.
Yes, unhinged. That's the word. Thank you. I like his unhinged version, but Jack Nicholson actually having the laughter and the craziness to it as well. That for me kind of puts him over Heath Ledger for me. And it's Jack Nicholson. No disrespect to Heath Ledger, but I like that version better. So, guys, don't forget you can bid on. Let me pull it up here again. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, guys, we got this 1989 Batmobile with the Michael Keaton Batman figure. You can bid on it right here on the podcast for $10. The starting bid is $10. This comes from the Nitro Antique Mall over in Nitro. We got Tim with us from the mall, from the shop, and he's kind enough to come on and put this on and let us auction it off for $10. Unfortunately, guys, you have to. The only way that you can bid is that you have to bid from the actual stream. I know that I've shared this to my personal Facebook page as well as Rick, as well as Chad, and I believe Tim has as well. But the only way that you can bid on it is from this actual stream. So if it's streaming from one of our Facebooks, just go to the actual Facebook page of that, and then from there you can comment on it. You can interact with us live, and you can bid on this. And our plan was to run this through the podcast. So it's up to Tim if he wants to do it a little longer. Maybe Tim, if we don't get a bid or a whole lot of bid, maybe he can go to his actual third floor comics and put it up there as well. So get some people over there and check that out as well. So we'll see how this goes here. But we wanted to give you guys something cool. This by far is my favorite Batmobile. I don't know about anybody else, but this is my favorite Batmobile.
Definitely.
Yeah, my favorite one. So, and then we also have two. We also have this very nice Michael Keaton Batman poster, which for many people, for myself, my Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. So, and again, you can bid on it during the podcast live. You can go to the comment section from the actual stream, whether it's the Melvin Carter Jr. voiceover page, Facebook, or Melvin Carter Jr. presents on YouTube. You can bid on there as well. And again, guys, we can also see your comments. So if you want to comment on it, you can talk to us. You can talk to, me, Rick, Chad, or Tim about what we got going on here. You can ask us questions, whatever it is that you want to do. Feel free to throw some comments there in the comment section, and each one of us, we can actually respond to you individually. So, how to get a sip of my mojo there. So, but when is that Flash movie due to be out? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I
Maybe
think they said
summer after next.
June 3rd, like 2022 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's still in pre-production.
Let me ask you guys something. With all of this COVID-19 going on, I was going to call it the swine flu. With all this COVID-19 stuff going on, I know that I fortunately was still able to work, and I think Chad, you were still working. I don't know about you, Rick. I know that Tim you had to shut down for a little while, didn't you, Tim?
We shut the store down for foot traffic for about 4 weeks, but we never stopped our online sales. Actually, we doubled up on our online sales, both on eBay, Macari, and through Facebook. So we never really actually shut down.
Okay.
Actually, COVID's been a pretty good thing for us, believe it or not.
Well, it helps, like you said, with your online. It helps that traffic, and you probably got a lot of people that wasn't aware of that or never got on it. Now they're aware of it, and they can do shop there from your store from the online as
There were a
well.
lot of people. Yeah, there were a lot of people sitting at home bored with nothing to do, so they tuned into our Wednesday night sales and our Friday night sales.
Yeah, Rick, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think now? Obviously, COVID-19's affected everything going on right now, from February to now, from movies and television shows and sports. The NBA is just now coming back. The NFL says that they're on schedule, but movies have been pushed back. Do you think that will carry over the movie part of it, and probably like concerts too, but just the movie? Do you think that'll carry over into the fall and the winter?
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, my wife and I both work in healthcare, so um, like we're here in just the last week, we've seen in several places that the numbers are going back up.
hmm
Um, from a lot of things that I've read into, through work and through, just looking into things myself. Honestly, I think coming the fall, there's going to be a a significant spike. Let's say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Little by little, whenever I go to the store, I've been getting certain things. That way, come fall or winter, if there is another spike, if there's another increase of the COVID-19, I'll be set for a while. That for the most part, I won't have to go to the actual grocery store. I can just get a loaf of bread or something at the local gas station, or whatever. At least as long as panic doesn't break out again. But little by little, I'm trying to make it to where I don't have to stand in line in the cold and if something crazy happens. So, and rest assured that I've got my toilet paper now. So we we won't be worried about wiping the old cheeks during this time. So got a little. You never thought, you would never think that if a crisis broke out, that you'd be fighting for toilet paper. You know, hamburgers, hot dogs, maybe some cheese or some milk or something, but no toilet paper. So that was kind of strange. But we don't want to experience that again. I tell you, Chad's wife, she does hair, and I know I was going to ask you, Chad. So when everything got back to where people were going out again and businesses were kind of opening up, was your wife slammed?
Yeah, those first few days, people had actually been messaging her when they found out that the salon was going to be reopening, trying to get spots on that very first day. So she had about 80 people when she could probably only accommodate 10.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, the first few weeks was busy, and where they have 20 stylists, they kind of had to split it up just because of the occupancy restrictions. So she's been working basically 3 days each week, and then the 10 stylists work for 3 days, and then the 10 other stylists, they'll also work 3 days, and then they can optionally work Sunday, depending on who has appointments or whatever. But those days are longer. It's 10 to 12-hour days, sometimes 13 or 14. And that took a little bit of getting used to. So there's a lot of changes, especially for hair salons.
Yeah. Now, is that because of the overflow, the influx, or what have you, of customers having to have their hair done? Because I know, because I was still working during this time. I gotta be honest with you, I shaved my head, so I was good to go.
Right.
Some of my coworkers, they were looking kind of rough. They were looking kind of rough. So when they were able to go and get cuts, it was like a breath of fresh air for them. So, well, that's I was kind of curious about that, man, about hair, how busy the hair salons and the barbershops are going to be. So, guys, don't forget, you can go to the Facebook page there, the Melvin Crider Jr. voiceover Facebook page, or the Melvin Crider Jr. Presents YouTube page. Mine's the Astute. And you can get on that link and you can bid on items from there. And again, don't forget, guys, you can comment with us live right here during the podcast. We got a comment section. Each and every one of us can respond to you guys, talk to you guys. So feel free to chat with us and ask us any questions that you have. Don't forget that we got the Michael Keaton 1989 Batman poster, which Chad says that he wants. So if you guys don't bid on it, Chad is going to get it himself. And then we also have which again, this is my favorite Batman Batmobile right here, the 1989 Batmobile from Tim Burton's Batman with the Michael Keaton Batman figure that goes with it. And I gotta tell you, I'm a action figure kind of guy, so by far that is one of my favorite things ever. So we got that there.
I hope my son
And
hasn't saw that.
what is it now?
Said I hope my son hasn't saw that because he'll want it.
Well, Dad, if we can't get anybody to bid on it, I don't know what Tim's going to do after that. He may put it on his own third floor comic auction, but if
Yeah, if
not,
we don't get any bidders tonight, yeah, I'll probably move it over to the third floor comics page.
yeah. So you can go there as well. So there's still lots of hope. If you had your eye on that, there's lots of hope. You can always go after the fact, and you can go to the Nitro Antique Mall. They have the third floor comics and is it third floor comics and comics? Third floor comics and collectibles. Did I get that right?
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna try that one more time. Third floor comics and collectibles. They should put
Bingo.
that. Yeah, they should put that in a grammar thing and see if people can
See,
enunciate.
the first time you said third for colonics, I was like, that's a whole different experience than most people are looking for.
Right, right, right.
In a completely different clientele. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what we're gonna do, guys? We just the other day, I know that I haven't watched it during this whole pandemic, this whole COVID-19 thing, but wrestling's there's a wrestling legend. Everybody knows the Undertaker, whether you watched wrestling yesterday or haven't watched it in years, or even watched it in, I guess you could say, a couple decades, because the Undertaker's been around for a while. So the Undertaker, WWE's Undertaker, or WWF, which I have a little uh, thing, a little trivia for you guys. Do you know or do you remember why Vince McMahon changed it from the World Wrestling Federation, the WWF, to the WWE?
No clue.
Nope.
If I remember, it's because the World Wildlife Fund already had that domain name.
Yes, that's what happened when the internet got started to get bigger and companies started getting their own websites. What happened was is let me slow this down here. The World Wildlife Fund and World Wrestling Federation, people, they were getting their domain names mixed up because they both were wwf.com. So what happened was is that they ruled that the World Wildlife Fund was more important than wrestling. So I guess Vince didn't want to fight it anymore, so he dropped the F. He got the F out, as the church used to say, and substituted the word entertainment to take over for federation. So that's how it became the WWE. They lost to animal lovers, which
Was
is not a bad thing. I love my cat.
was
Love
that
it.
before .org?
I would say so. I would say so. That's a good question, man. I'd have to look that
Yeah,
up.
World Wildlife Fund would be WWF.org and wrestling would be WWF.com.
Yeah, but I think what the thing was, though, is that people were getting confused,
Yeah.
and you had a bunch of guys that were uh, big wrestling fans, and the internet's not for everybody, so it's not. You know, it's just like you and I talked the other day, Rick. You know, we have, in my opinion, the greatest thing man has ever created in the palm of our hands, and we can't even share a news story on Facebook that with a current date on it. So, but the under, yeah, the Undertaker has retired. There he is, the Undertaker, his big scary self, throwing Shawn Michaels into the cage, throwing McFoley off of it, him and his big fat ass off the top of the cage there. Had to get a sip there. My man Y2J. So there's the Undertaker. Now, the Undertaker, let me pull it up here. Let me see if I still got it. Let me pull this up. I'll pull this up here, and then I can actually read it. Guys, don't forget you can bid on the 1989 Batmobile with the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman figure, which, by the way, I noticed is the short-eared version. A lot of people don't realize there's a short-eared version and a long-eared version. And from the looks of it, it was a short-eared version. Let me
Short
see.
eared.
Huh?
He is short eared.
Yes. Hold on. Let me
I have to
see.
say that little bit of wrestling is the most wrestling I've watched in the last 20 years. I know
Let
who the Undertaker is from the action figures that come to the store, but I have not watched wrestling at all since Hulk Hogan days.
well, the Undertaker. Gosh, let me try to click on this without. I don't want to screw you guys up. Hold on here. Let me see. Let me find it here. Okay, here we go. So let me do this here, and I will share this screen. I'm going to tell you guys too, by the way, that on your thing you can also share a screen. If you look on your little tabs you got there, you can share a screen as well.
Yeah.
So This is the screen that I'm sharing live with you guys right now. So the Undertaker. Here we go. Mark William Calloway, born 1965, better known in the ring name Undertaker. He began his career in 1987 working as various gimmicks for World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW, and other affiliate promotions. He became the USWA Unified World Heavyweight Champion and WCWA Texas Heavyweight Champion during this time. After signing with World Championship Wrestling, WCW, in 1989, he had a brief stint in the mid card as Mean Mark Callis. If you guys have never seen Mean Mark Callis, it's very, very impressive. Very impressive. Before joining the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, back in 1990. So the excuse me. So the Undertaker's been around for a while, and I know that some of you guys haven't watched wrestling in a while, but to me, as a wrestling fan, it's a very, very big deal. Very, very big deal. Undertaker has been a part of my life as a wrestling fan for a long, long time. My personal favorite wrestler is well, I'd say Shawn Michaels, then probably Chris Jericho. But the Undertaker, man, if you go back and you watch videos of him now, I just watched a video of him this morning. He was talking to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was talking about how he was trying to make it, and he was actually wrestling against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold pretty much in real life whipped his ass. So a lot of things people don't realize about wrestling is that though it is choreographed to a degree, if those guys screw up because you can seriously injure someone, your opponents are really going to kick your ass. They can do a lot of damage to you. I didn't know this until I was watching the video yesterday that apparently Kurt Angle said, I believe it was the right leg or the other. One side of their body, if you go back and watch it now, whenever they kick or they punch, they only do it to one side of their body. That way, I guess they can heal or whatever, and they're not totally sore. So, did not know that. But the Undertaker kind of really, he was at the end of the gimmicks, and you guys remember the gimmicks like Doink the Clown, and you you had all kinds of crazy gimmicks. Hulk Hogan really, he had his gimmicks, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, all that other crap. But there were the Texas Tornado, which was Kerry Von Erich, if I remember correctly, and the Undertaker really was the last of the gimmicks because the gimmicks kind of started to die out once WCW really jumped ahead of the WWE, and WCW didn't really use the gimmicks anymore. So WWE kind of had to change, and you had Shawn Michaels that was getting big and DX and all that other stuff. But there was a period though when Undertaker would come out and he had his American Badass persona and had the headband and he rode the motorcycle and all that other stuff. But eventually a couple years later he went back to the dead man, like they say. So Undertaker retiring, I'm sure without a doubt that we'll see him probably at least once a year, once every 2 years. So when those guys retire, they don't retire for life because just like a normal athlete, I don't know if I use the word normal, but when you retire from something that you do, even in everyday life, you get bored after a while because your profession that you've done for decades, it's a part of you. If Rick stopped playing music one day, it'd probably drive him nuts. You think?
Yeah.
So
I
Rick's been
actually did quit for a few years, and it was one of the sadder periods of my life.
yeah. Because it's you. It's a part of you. It's a part of your personality. It's a part of your heart. It's who you are. And that'll never go away. So it's very, very tough. Very, very tough to do that. So just imagine those guys as well. We see them on TV and think, that's just hold on, let me see what this is here. We see that on TV and he said let me put that on the screen here. Hold on.
Pib.
Yeah, he said no one escapes the WWE. So this is true. That is true. No one escapes the WWE. So we've lost Tim. Let's see if we can get him back. Let's see if he sends some matches there. I don't know what happened to Tim. Let's see if we can get him back. Let me send him a message real quick.
Have you been watching the Undertaker documentary, Melvin?
No, I haven't. I'll have to watch that. I think I've seen the advertisement for that the other day, so I'll have to check that out. Yeah. The Tim, when you went away there, I don't know if that was I don't know if that somehow was hold on.
As an error on my part, hit the wrong button.
Shame on you, Tim.
Oops.
Shame on you.
Hey, all this fancy kind of broadcasting kind of goes way beyond me. You know, when we do our podcast, it's on an iPad and no mic. This 4 screen stuff, this is high tech to me. Okay.
Hey, you know, we are high tech bandits. We are high tech bandits, is what we are.
Melvin's got his headphones on. He's got a giant mic there. I'm not used to any of that stuff. It's just like our podcast Wednesday nights. It's total free for all. So this is kind of unique experience for me.
Hey, well, you know what? We appreciate you being on, and we're gonna get Rick going here in a minute because we got some things to talk about. And Rick is if you know Rick and you follow him on Facebook, he very, very smart guy. Not that you guys aren't smart, you know, but with Chad, I mean, you know, you
It is what it is. I mean, it's fine.
your jumper's kind of weak. Your jumper's kind of weak, you know what I mean? But
That's all right. I got those Kyrie handles.
hold on a second here. Let's see. The Andrew Hibbert says that the dead man will always be one of the biggest WWE stars, and has been a part of the lives of an entire generation. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And he'll be back. You know, I mean, he pretty much the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, really, he just showed up here and there. So he'll be back. He'll definitely be back. So
I mean, I can back that up because I know precious little about wrestling, but I definitely know who the Undertaker is, and I definitely know how big of a deal he is.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know, it's like if
absolutely.
you're not even into music, you know who the Rolling Stones are. You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Or at least you can buy the T-shirt at Target.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. People get ticked off when they what is it they say? If you don't listen to the band, don't wear the T-shirt. Yeah. By the way, this mic it's only bigger because it's up close to my face. So it's objects in the rearview mirror. They appear closer than they are. Come on, guys. Dad jokes. Come on.
Meatloaf. I get it.
I was going to say,
Cola.
effect.
Yeah. So hold on here. So we got a lot of stuff going on in the world. Let me plug you one more time here. Plug you one more time. Guys, don't forget, you can bid, and what you can do, bid in the comment section. We got the let me pull this up here. We got the 19. There he is. 19. Let me put Tim up here by himself. Hold on. Say something.
Don't do that now.
Let me see something here. Yes.
All those toys.
Yes. 1989 Batmobile and Batman figure.
It's
Right.
actually in really good shape. Yeah, the sticker off the dashboard's missing. That's about the only thing that's wrong with it.
But here's the thing,
Got
though.
one missile.
It's what, 30 years old? 31.
Yeah, it is actually. I graduated high school in '89, so yeah, it's about 30 years old.
Yeah.
I
Not
feel old now.
Tim. Tim's not 30 years old, but the Batmobile.
No. No, I'm not 30 quite yet. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Anymore.
So hold on, let me see what that is.
We got 2 bids on the Batmobile.
Yes. Awesome.
Rick bid 20, Andrew Hibb bid 25.
Yeah, I was hoping to get it going.
Yes.
Thank you, Rick.
So again, you can also bid on the poster. Let me pull this up here. Hold on. Let me pull the poster up as well.
I'm shifting my bid to the poster then.
So you can also bid on the poster. If you I tell you what, if you put a bid up there, make sure that you're specific. Make sure that you're specific. Yes, Rick shifts his bid to the poster. Be like Andrew Hibbert and put on their Batmobile poster. If you place your bid Batmobile poster. So
Abe is a regular on our Wednesday night sale and our Friday night sale. He kind of knows how this works.
yes, good deal. Good deal. Let me pull that out there.
Poster is separate bidding, Andy.
Yes, the poster is separate. See, there you go, Tim. Good, good, good. And Tim, don't forget you can respond to that as well. It will show up as your name. So,
Okay.
I mean, you can say it out loud too. You're okay. I'm not spanking you.
Speaking on the wrestling, wrestling is a big part of our podcast on Wednesday nights. Actually, we have one of the guys that's on the podcast with us, JR. I guess back in the late '80s, early '90s, he wrestled locally quite a bit. And another member of our podcast, JR Angel, we like to give him just total hell about it. Actually, because it's the whole is it a real sport? Can you call it a real sport? It's an ongoing bitch fest actually. And I'm kind of side of JR Angel. Can you call it a real sport?
Um,
Where's
I
it
would
acting?
say, honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I would without a doubt use the term that the WWE uses, and I would say sports entertainment. Because here's the deal: there, it's one of those things. Like some people say that NASCAR's a sport. I don't know. To me, it's guys that are driving cars and doing things in those cars that I could never do. So, are they athletes? Uh, it's the same thing with like a golfer.
Mm.
Is a golfer an athlete? I guess it just depends on. I mean, Chad, is Chad as a golfer an athlete?
I don't know. I mean, to me, since Tiger Woods came in when was younger, and I think he influenced a lot of the golfers that came after him. Tiger Woods seemed to be focused a little bit more on strength training and things like that. And I think some of the younger guys looked at the model that he set, and they started valuing that as part of their golfing experience, I guess. So I would say, I mean, for one, they have to walk like I think that's one of the stipulations of PGA is you have to walk the course every time. So I mean, and that would count a lot of people out because I know a lot of guys my age who can't even go golfing without riding in a cart and a 12-pack of beer. So
I'm telling you,
I mean,
Rick, do you think? Are you go ahead? Respond. Actually, I was going to ask you what were you going to say.
well, I mean, if you're asking me if I think golf is a sport, I think on a skill level, yeah, because golf is hard.
Hmm.
But on the other side of the coin, who can really call John Daly an athlete with a straight face?
Right, right, right. Do you think wrestling is a sport?
I think the
WWE.
sheer physicality of it, heck yeah. But
Yeah.
there, like you said, there is an entertainment part of it, and it's scripted and whatnot. But what these guys do in the ring, I mean, there's a reason Undertaker's retiring. It's because his body's breaking.
Right.
You know, it's undeniable.
Right. You have to. I tell you what. To comment on what you just said, Rick. I'd watched an interview with Kurt Angle, and he talked about when he wrestled. It may have been the Undertaker. I'm not sure. And he got on top of the cage, and he did a moonsault off the cage. And he said that that part of it wasn't scripted. He just got up there and thought, "What the hell? I'm going to do this." And he said what happened is that he was whoever it was he was wrestling against, they were laying on the announce table. And of course, they moved because I mean, damn, you got a guy jumping, 15 feet off a cage. He's not going to land on me, especially if we didn't talk about it before the match. So, so the
No.
dude moved, and Kurt Angle said that he shattered his leg or broke his leg or something, and so those things happen, And now, unfortunately, in Kurt Angle's case, he went down the road and got hooked on pain pills, and and etc. So, but those things happen. Those things, but Rick, you are right though. The physical aspect of it is without a doubt to me. Those guys are definitely athletes. Just if ever you want to see, there's a big difference in guys that can actually wrestle like Kurt Angle, like um, Eddie Guerrero, despite his horrific thing that he did, Chris Benoit, There are guys that can actually wrestle, and then there are guys that are just there to sell merchandise and attract the ladies, like John Cena. John Cena often, but yeah, but midway through his career, John Cena, hey, I got like 2 moves, but the entertainment aspect of it, John Cena, good looking dude, kids liked him. He wore bright shirts, which in the end is kind of weird because he wore bright colored shirts. Kids like colors, so that's kind of, if as a parent, if you seen a man walking down the street every day past your house in a big green neon green ass shirt with you know all these different colors, like yeah, we need to check him out. Pull out the laptop. Let's see let's see if he's registered.
This is on the list. Have you seen the comparisons of John Cena to Ernest?
Yes.
And what do you think about that? I mean, I think he's starting to look a lot like Ernest. I mean, whether it's a bad camera angle or what, but it's dead on. I mean, Ernest was kind of buff.
Jim Varner was his name, wasn't it? Was
Yes.
that Jim Varner? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's twins, man. Twins.
It's uncanny.
Yes. Yeah. The irony of Jim Varner is that Jim Varner, if you remember, he would do don't smoke campaigns, and he died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. So he secretly smoked while promoting do not smoke to kids, which I guess is kind of a good thing, but I mean the irony of it, the irony of it. So.
Jim Fix was a huge fitness guy, and he died flat of a heart attack.
Who was it?
Jim Fix. He was like a big time fitness guy in like the 70s.
Okay. I thought he might have been Mr. Goodbye.
He just dropped dead of a massive heart attack.
It happens. I mean, sometimes you can't put down the tutors and you can't put down the Shonies and all that good stuff. So it happens. I try to watch my weight. I'm starting to get the Homer Simpson dad gut. So I got to.
I've had it for a while.
Well, I mean, you are 30, Tim.
I'm 30 plus. Yes.
So, what?
Metal guys trying to get in shape.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If you hadn't seen Chad in a while, Rick, Chad is Diesel. Chad got the guns and
COVID has zapped me.
Oh, whatever, man. He'll shape his head in modesty, but Chad is Diesel. So very, very Diesel. Guys, don't forget you can bid on live during the podcast here on the Batmobile 1989 Batmobile with the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman figure. Short-eared, by the way. I'm a geek. I noticed that. And also let me pull this up here. What is the comment there?
The runner.
He was a runner, Jim Fix. Oh, okay. Yeah. He was a runner, Jim Fix. Okay.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mrs. Recco. She said, "Don't call me Mrs. Recco." Yeah, I know. I can't do that. I don't even like to use curse words in front of people's parents. I still feel like I'm
Currently, we have 20 on the poster and 25 on the poster to Rick and 25 on the Batmobile to Angie Hibbard.
Yes. So, what we're going to talk about here is we got all kinds of stuff going on in the world. Obviously, especially particularly in this country, we got all kinds of things going on and very I don't even know the word for it. Very trying times, I guess. Trying, confusing. I don't know. I'm sure there are many words to describe it, but there's one thing here. Let me take a sip of my Red Bull here. Now, I'm not normally Chad and I don't normally do race, but I picked this one because you can. There's actually a story behind this. Number one, I wasn't aware that Pepsi owns Aunt Jemima. Was not aware of that. So Pepsi has decided. Hold on. When will the auction end? The auction would end, at least on my end. It'll end. If Tim wants to end it at the end of this podcast, he can. It's up to Tim. Tim can carry over to his.
That sounds good.
Okay, so Tim's going to end it at the end of this podcast. So we so Pepsi has decided to close the door on the Aunt Jemima brand in light of everything that's been going on in our country with George Floyd and the protests and Black Lives Matter and everything else of that nature. The one thing though, and the reason why I brought up Aunt Jemima is there are some things in life that are kind of just way out there. And then there are other things that when you sit back and look at it in retrospect and you can say, you know what, maybe that wasn't a good idea after all. Maybe it's time to put that to bed. Everybody's opinion is going to differ from person to person, from room to room, etc. But when I took a look at Aunt Jemima and I started reading up on it and you know I did a little dig and Aunt Jemima is a caricature um of the lady that you see there on the right. And this lady, let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on. When I'm on hold with customers at work, I got them, I'm looking for something for them. They're like, "Do you always sing?" I'm like, "Well, I live alone. I don't like silence. I always got the TV on. So when I'm silent on the phone, I sing. I make up little songs. I don't know the name of that song. We'll just call it Made Up. What we'll do.
Do 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 number 2.
Or something.
What
Are
is
you
it,
talking about
Rick?
the vaudeville song?
It could be, because it could be something subconsciously that I'm singing there. So it's very possible. Very possible. Let me
Like
let
I
me
had
pull
this
it.
up just a little bit ago. Hang on. I think I got it right here.
You talking about Aunt Jemima?
Yeah.
You know what? See if you can share that. Let me pull this down. I want to see if you can do that. You want to try to see if I can share it, but I want to see if you can.
I don't know if I can because I have like 3 different Chrome windows up. But
Well, it allows you to pick one. Here, I got it right here though. Hold on just a moment. Let me take this down. Actually, what I'll do here, I'll do this. Aunt Jemima. Here we go.
yeah, the song was called Old Aunt Jemima.
Hold on. I wasn't aware of that song either. Old Aunt Jemima. So the the Aunt Jemima brand of syrup and pancake mix will get a new name and image. Quaker Oats announced Wednesday, saying that the company recognizes that Aunt Jemima's origins are based on racial stereotype. The 130-year-old, wow, 130 years old brand features a black woman named Aunt Jemima who was originally dressed as a minstrel character. The picture has changed over time, and in recent years, Quaker removed the quote unquote mammy kerchief from the character to blunt growing criticism that the brand perpetrated a racist stereotype that dated to the days of slavery. Quaker, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, said removing the image and name is part of an effort by the company to make progress toward uh, racial equality. And there are many other things about Aunt Jemima that I can go on and read about. And I wanted to let me stop the sharing the screen there. I wanted to give get your guys' take on it. First, I'll say mine. When I look at that, first of all, even as a kid, when you, at least for me, being an African American, a person of color, one of the things when you joke amongst your friends that you'd say, oh, your mama's Aunt Jemima or whatever. So even without knowing as a kid, that was kind of a way of saying, your mom's is, I don't know, like Aunt Jemima was something to be made fun of. You know what I mean? So you kind of, just the name. I was explaining to somebody the other day that it might have been when Rick and I were talking about. I'll give you an example. In the movie, what's it called? In the movie Crashed with Matt Dillon and Don Cheadle. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Great movie.
mm-hmm.
You ever seen the movie Crash?
Years
It's
ago.
been a long time.
Okay, so there's a scene in the movie. Matt Dillon's father. I think he has like a urinary tract infection or something, and Matt Dillon keeps going back to the clinic, trying to get medicine for him or whatever. And the woman keeps telling him, hey, you got to fill out these forms and there's a process and all that other stuff. So Matt Dillon gets angry and he says something to the degree, when my father was young, he gave people that look like you jobs and blah, 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 blah. And here we are today, and I can't get any help. And so the woman kind of smarts him off, and he says, what is your name? And she says, something like LaQuisha or Shaniqua or something. And he looks at her and he goes, figures. So that scene kind of describes the way that I feel about Aunt Jemima. I think that it's just a name that really is kind of stereotypical. If you want to look at it that way, I don't know what the white version of that would be. What would that be? Earl? I don't know.
No idea.
Mr. Clean, maybe. I don't know.
No idea.
Go ahead.
There's one that's that strong of an association. Let's say.
What is it?
I don't think that there's a name for white people that has as strong of an association as that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it kind of. I had something that I was going to say, in response to Aunt Jemima, but and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of. I think that it was time to get rid of it, and I think that sometimes in life we see things and we don't see it until years later on, and it's just one of those things where you say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Now, there are many other things, though. There are many other things that, without a doubt, that okay, this is a little too much. This is a little too much, So that was kind of my segue here into what we talked about earlier. Things that will make it today and things that wouldn't. I want to touch real quickly though on. I just want to recognize the Dixie Chicks for changing their name, at least dropping the Dixie, taking the Dixie out of Chicks. That sounds awful. Removing they just cut the name Dixie off their name. How about that? So, and Rick and I were talking earlier. I never thought about the word Dixie. Whenever I hear the word Dixie, first of all, I do like the Dixie Chicks. There is some country music that I like. I'm not ashamed to say it. The Dixie Chicks, 20 years ago, they were huge. If you 20 years ago, there were certain artists that you without a doubt had to know. Dixie Chicks, Celine Dion, et cetera. They were huge 20 years ago. Titanic and all that other stuff. So Rick and I were talking earlier before we got on, and I never knew the word Dixie. I knew of the word, but when I thought of it, I always thought of it as just a word that was associated with something Southern, but not like in a derogatory or racist or negative sense. So when they came out and removed it from their name, and actually Rick and I talked about it earlier, I was like, oh, okay. If so, I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Rick, did you want to touch on that?
You mean like the word Dixie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think the strongest association with it, as far as I guess you could say racism goes, as far as I know, would be the song Dixie, which if you look at the lyrics, it's a lot of bitterness from people in the South about not just the Civil War and losing it, but all the things that led up to the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that standpoint, that's a very bitter song if you read the lyrics, even though, it sounds kind of happy, melody wise.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I wasn't aware of all that until he mentioned that earlier. So, and as far as I know, the Dixie Chicks, and just like Lady Antebellum, took it upon themselves. I mean, I'm assuming that's what they did, to take this out of their names. Antebellum, again, something I wasn't familiar with. I know who they are as artists, but wasn't aware of the word antebellum. So the if the artists choose to do it, you know what I mean, hey, that's all to them. Some things again, like Aunt Jemima, are kind of a given in my mind. There are other things though that are just a stretch, and you're like, come on, really, really. So I hope that in as time goes by, we really, like I said to Rick earlier, if you believe in something, know what you believe in. If you're fighting for something, know exactly what you're fighting for. Don't run to the fire just because everybody else ran there. Know what you're doing, know why you're doing it, and be aware of the outcome, whether it be good or bad. So, but the segue to that, real quickly, are things that TV shows, characters that might not make it today. So, and I was actually watching this earlier. Married with Children. You guys think this would make it today?
It should. It was a classic, but there's a lot of tasteless humor in it. But tasteless humor is kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah. Well, Al's his no love for, what should I say, heavy set women was kind of brutal. I watched it. Actually, it was on today, and I was like, wow, it's really, that's really wow. I don't know.
All women are a size 6 shoe.
him calling Marcy a little boy. Chad, you think it will make it today?
Yeah, I mean, with all the different production houses, with Netflix doing their own thing and Amazon, like I'm sure somebody would pick it up and do something with it. Yeah. Who knows? There'll probably be a reboot. That seems to be the thing. So,
Rick, what do you think? Would it make it?
Married with Children would. I mean, there'd obviously be instantaneous opinions from everybody on Facebook. If a certain joke was a little edgy, but I think for the most part it would get a pass.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think it would. I think they probably have to clean up a little bit, but the fat women jokes would get really hit hard, So, Eddie Murphy, Raw and Delirious.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. I don't think so either.
I love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I don't think Delirious or Raw would really make it. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. We Rick and I talked earlier. Now this is one that I don't know. Because South Park kind of really snuck in on Comedy Central when Comedy Central really. I don't think we really explored our cable options yet when South Park came out. South Park came out what, 95, 96, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. 90s.
Yeah. So we really, like, Comedy Central was just one of those things, at least for me, like when you flip through the channels, you just kept it moving because you were used to your primetime networks, Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. And back then, Rick's going to laugh. He's probably going to say no. Back then, I think MTV still played videos.
Not the good ones.
not the good ones.
They still have Headbangers Ball then?
I don't think they did, because I think that's when it switched over to 120 minutes, and that was nothing.
Yeah.
As Headbangers Ball.
Now, these two go together. The Jeffersons and All in the Family. Jeffersons and All in the Family go together. One thing I was telling Rick earlier is that when you have shows like this, as long as you have shows that give and take and give back and take, etc. I think it's okay. I was okay with the Jeffersons, and I was okay with All in the Family. I think that both of those could make it as well, as long as they were pinned together like they were. I think they'd be fine. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I kind of see him differently because All in the Family, it was kind of like old thinking, like an old mindset versus a younger mindset. And that seemed to be like the angle that they were going with that show. But with the Jeffersons, it was kind of approaching like black people reaching affluence and how does that affect them? You know?
Yeah.
So I think they were kind of two different things in my view.
Hmm.
But I think honestly both of them would be okay today.
Yeah. It's like I said, as long as they, because basically what it was, first of all, they were made by the same producer, and as long as they were pinned together somehow, if they had some relation somehow, I think it'd be okay. One of the things that, without a doubt, in my mind, would not make it is the Adventures of Handyman from In Living Color. No way,
Not a chance.
no way. Um, Men on Film, no way.
You don't think?
I don't see. I don't know. I just
I mean,
Handyman without a doubt, no. But Men on Film, I'm not sure.
excuse me.
I'm not sure. Um, Robert Downey Jr., Lincoln Osiris. I don't
I'm
know.
scared to touch that one.
Well, here's the deal with that. Here's the deal with Robert Downey Jr. doing that, is that the movie was set up, and they actually, when they promoted it, they promoted it perfectly, and they clearly explained that he was a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. So I think I don't know if they redo it today, but I don't know. So we'll see though. Uh, Dave Chappelle, Chuck Taylor, and Whiteface. Do you think it makes it?
I don't think it's offensive.
It just depends on who you talk to, man. I mean, Dave Chappelle really, I don't know. I'm sure there'd be someone angry with him over that.
Think they'd be able to do the draft episode again?
Rick brought that up earlier. I don't know. Rick did. He did bring that up.
Isn't that kind of the point of some comedy is to offend people and push the boundaries and make them laugh at their own insecurities?
Absolutely, absolutely. And to me, that's very important. That's very important. I mean, I always enjoy that I can go to each and every one of you and make a joke to you, and you can make a joke to me, and nobody gets their feelings hurt. Nobody gets their feelings hurt at all. And that's what we need in life, is to be able to to laugh at each other and say, maybe that is funny, and things like that. So that's what we need in life. One more, and then we'll wrap it up, and we'll plug Tim one more time and make it sound a little dirty. Mhm. Hold on here, fat bastard.
I actually had an ex-girlfriend that would call me fat bastard all the time after we broke up. So.
Well,
I think we get a pass because it's a dude.
You know what? I think at first when I thought about that, I was like, man, he wouldn't pass it. But you're absolutely right. There is a different outrage when it comes to sexes. So I think like you said, if it were a female, it'd probably be some backlash. But since fat bastard is a dude, I don't think there's any any harm in that. Guys, don't forget, we let's see, we got the Batmobile. I'll make one last call for the Batmobile. One last call. The what was the highest bid? $25 from
Mr. Hibbard.
Mr. Hibbard, Andrew Hibbard, and then Rick on the poster.
It will be mine.
It will be Rick's. Dun dun dun. So
All them sold.
It is sold. The Batmobile is sold to Andrew Hibbard, and the Batman poster sold to Rick. Not Ricky. Grown man Rick. Grown man.
Or tag it strictly as Rick.
Is laughing right now.
What is it?
Said my wife is laughing right now. Grown man Rick.
Grown man Rick. That's what you should address yourself when you come home from work. Say, I'm grown man Rick. You will address me as grown man Rick. So, but okay, so Andrew Hibbard won the auction for the Batmobile, $25, and Rick won the auction for the poster of Michael Keaton Batman. I think was it unanimous that Michael Keaton is the best Batman, at least from 1989.
We didn't cover the Affleck Batman.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That's one thing that I was missing.
You know, I think since we didn't, we actually did.
Oh, come on, Chad. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Chad?
He wasn't.
What?
I didn't think so.
What do you? Okay, so what do you think about? What is the guy's name? Robert Patterson. Now we haven't seen it yet, but I'm saying.
I mean, he was a dark, brooding vampire, so whatever.
No one thought Keaton could pull it off. And
Well,
first announced Keaton, everyone was like, "Oh, this isn't going to work," but I think Patrick can pull it off.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Well, everybody will watch it regardless. I mean, it's Batman.
You're going to get my $12, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get me being a pirate on my laptop, hooking it to my TV. But everybody's gonna watch it regardless. So watch it regardless. But hey, we got the Batmobile sold, and we got the poster sold, and maybe we get something else on here sometime. And Tim, how did you like the experience of the 4 cameras and the pictures and the
like
video?
this is nice.
Yeah,
Real nice. I have to try this on our podcast a little bit.
Yeah, I'll show you if I have to stop by the store sometime. I'll show you how to do all that. So if you guys could, I'm gonna wrap this up, play the outro for everybody, and then if you could just hold on for a minute and stick around for just a moment, and then we'll get you guys out of here. But hey, I want to thank each and every one of you that have watched us today. I want to thank what is that gentleman's name again there? Tim Hibbard. And we'll thank Andrew Hibbard for bidding. Yeah, Andrew Hibbard for bidding on the Batmobile. I want to thank Rick for bidding on the poster. And yes, guys, don't forget Tim has the Third Floor Comics auction. That there's the Facebook page. We're going to do this right this time. Third Floor Comics and Collectibles. Not that slow. Third Floor Comics and Collectibles on Facebook page. Tim, when do you guys do your auctions? I know you do them every day, but you have live auctions as well, right?
We do as far as comics and toys and collectibles go, we do a soft close reply auction on Wednesday nights under Third Floor Comics with the 3. Then on Friday nights we do a live sale under Third Floor Comics with the T. So,
okay.
2 different pages.
Yeah, so guys, be sure to check that out. And let me see if there's any comments or anything like that. And again, I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate everybody that listens to us, watches us live. And we will, let me get some outro music here. We will check you guys later here.